like, how did you guys like even start connecting with Drew when you were gonna like mentioning buying the REIA or taking over the REIA? Like, how did that even like happen and just come up? Was it out of the blue? Were you guys already like previously talking about it? Like, walk us through how that happened.
So Drew actually messaged me.
Well, we can go back a little bit further. We met with Drew a couple times, Buffalo Wild Wings, sat down with him, asked him if we could get into the creating cash flow mastermind because he had created a situation where he had a market advantage, and he kind of knew that, like, being the head of the Real Estate Investors Association, that if he joined a mastermind, other people were going to join masterminds too. He didn't want them to have Ryan Dossey's mastermind because he felt like it was one of the better ones.
And now we have it.
Yeah, well, we ended up joining Ryan Pineda's, which was a blessing in disguise to be part of one that was scaling so hard. Mm-hmm. So we met with Drew a couple times. He said, like, I'm sorry, I think I'm going to keep it to myself still. And then we kind of let him know that, like, hey, just out of respect for you, we've always been friendly competition, and you know, we'll still crush you if we both have a sales call coming in. We're going to try and get out there first, get it under contract, everything else. But we're going to play fair, too. If you've been talking to somebody, you had it under contract, and then somebody tried to snake it from you, we'll do what's right. Mm-hmm. So he respected our hustle. He also respected our ethics and what we were about. And then Dakota started making some regular posts on social media. That's when Drew reached out.
Yeah, so I was trying to find the text message and stuff while Tony was telling that story, but yeah, basically I was just like posting a lot, and that was when I was going through it. It's so funny, we're talking about breakups here apparently.
Sorry.
But that was the time when I was going through another ending of a relationship with Diana, who I was with for like 4 years, and that was very, very difficult for me. And so then I go back to reflection, like reminding myself who I am, and like, you know, just like connecting with God more and like really going to that. So then, yeah, I started posting a lot more of like my internal thoughts, what I was struggling with, what I'm going through, and just like being vulnerable with people. And like, yeah, so I started sharing that. And then I think this is the text. Let me see. Hey man, I know that I've said this before and I don't mean to be redundant, but I'm really impressed with your growth and maturity in the last 6 months, maybe longer. Really good stuff, and it's really apparent. I watched the last podcast, Jordan, Bobby, and Logan with you. Really good episode. I have an idea that I want to run past you, sort of off the record. There's no rush, but if you're interested in getting together, just us two, or just the two of us, please let me know and we'll put it together. And then that was on December 21st, and then I literally just showed up on December 21st. So after he said that, I was like, all right, I'll go do it. And then on December 21st at 6:30. So that was December 21st at 3, and then it's December 21st at 6:30 p.m. So apparently I went over there right away and talked to him. Yeah. And then I said, hey, I talked to Tony and we're 100% in. And then he's like, you know, hey, I haven't talked about it on my end. But basically in that conversation, he just said, I've been thinking about this a while, have not ran it by anybody. I just, you know, I know you guys have been talking about starting your own thing for a long time. And so I want to see if you'd be interested in taking it over, because obviously he has a lot bigger plans. He wants to do commercial. And again, it doesn't align with what he wants to do with his life. And so he also just wanted to just shut it down because he had a commitment to other people as well. And he's a man of his word. And so then I think that's really where it was like, okay, what's the best way that I could solve this for everybody? So it'd kind of be like me being like, hey, I don't align with LTD anymore, but I don't want to let you guys down, so I'm going to put somebody else in my place, which is kind of like, honestly, the goal right now, because like I do feel like right now, like I love it, and this is where I want to be, and obviously I'm going to give it my all while I'm here, but my goal is to have somebody else come in and then help run the ship and like still do all this stuff, because like I think that I'm a little bit past where I wanted to be. I wanted to stop this probably like a year ago and stuff. So, but I'm going to continue to grow and give everything I can while I'm here. But my goal would be to do the same thing that he's doing. Is like, hey, somebody else come in, take over, run this thing, and then, yeah. So I think that's what he did. But yeah, that's basically the story. Is this? He's messaged me from all those posts, said, hey, you're interested, and then talked to Tony, and there's a little bit more stuff that happened, but we don't got to talk about all that.
I was gonna say, I think most of us knew, or like kind of the background, because when you're making all those vulnerable posts and like doing that consistently, I knew that was some of it, but I wasn't sure if there was like more behind just that, which obviously we're not gonna talk about it, so maybe.